Yeah, you, Umber, you were prior army, right? Who else? Who else? Was one of y'all?
Prior army.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you do in army?
Intelligence analyst.
Oh, okay. You score high on the ass, man.
Right. Actually, military intelligence.
That's what's up.
Man, I did not know you could live set apart in Jacksonville until today.
Yep, yep. But see,
Wow.
the thing is, they're beginning to buy up the land around here and build factories and stuff like that. Yeah. So it Hey, can y'all see if I'm live on there? Is the audio good?
What's coming through my Bluetooth right now? Let me change it.
Let me check it.
Yeah. Hey, shalom, y'all online. Shalom, shalom, shalom. We getting ready to get started here. In about 6 minutes, we're gonna get started on time. Let's see.
I ain't even got no connection.
Let's see. Let's see. All right. I don't. I know a lot of other people are live right now anyway. So. All right. There we good.
We got this sound.
All right. We live. Shalom to y'all over there on Facebook. Shalom to y'all over here on YouTube. Share. There we go. All right. Yeah, this hat is from Michael Norman. He gave that to me. The brother I was playing this video earlier. Sister Lisa. Yeah. So yeah. Hey, you got the same shirt I got. Humber, you been back out to the range?
No, I wanted to go yesterday, but didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all. So basically, the format, you'll see other people. They'll come trickling in or whatever. I know my wife's on her way with the food. When the food comes in, y'all can eat whenever y'all want. I ain't gonna starve y'all, nothing like that. And I got my lesson here. It's not real long, cause like my main objective is fellowshipping, everybody getting to know each other. Me personally, I like it outside here. So like when I'm done my lesson, I brought my lawn chairs. I'm gonna be sitting out there enjoying the great outdoors. So even with all them little bugs out there, but it's whatever. But I just want to encourage everybody to get to know each other, talk, cause that's the main thing, is that fellowship, getting to know who you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all watching, those of y'all, we got a bunch of straightway brothers and sisters here this week, coming from different areas in Florida, and our brothers and sisters from right here in Jacksonville, Florida. And all right, somebody never. Yeah, so so basically, yeah, I'm gonna do my lesson, and then and it's a pretty straightforward, hard hitting lesson. I see a lot of the reason I did this lesson is I see a lot of misconceptions on why there's a need. I'm gonna make it obvious why we're moving the way we're moving. Why we're actually taking action as far as doing stuff with land, with weapons, with food, with all this stuff. That's what this lesson's gonna be about. And I think it's gonna be real practical. irrefutable. There's gonna be no arguing around it. I know the straight way brothers and sisters. This is kind of, you know, this is amateur to a lot of stuff we already have a mindset on. But for some of the other brothers and sisters, it's gonna make a lot of sense. It's gonna really make it practical because since I've started moving in this direction, I've gotten a lot of kickback. So I'ma just it's gonna make it very plain. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna get started 2 minutes early. For those people who are on their way, they'll understand. If y'all have, for those of you online, if you have any questions, okay, that's Ron. Hey, Ron. Hey, I'm live, man. Say shalom to everybody. It's Ron Dawg.
Shalom, y'all.
And apologize for interrupting my live again. No, I'm just kidding.
I apologize. I'll talk to you later. I got to ask you something anyway.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. Shalom.
Okay.
All right, so anyway, with that said, I'm gonna start my lesson. It's gonna be a pretty good lesson. And the title of the lesson is Laboring to Come Out of Her. Okay? So, let me get it up here on the slide. So, the first, I have Revelations chapter 18, verse 4 through 5. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, 'Come out of her, my people.'" Okay? And this is where I got the title for the lesson, okay? And one of the things I want to emphasize is it's telling you to do something. It's not, okay? And there's a process to coming out of her. It starts with a spiritual process, but the natural progression of that is a literal process. There's a coming, when you're like-minded and your spirit's right, you're able to come together with your brothers and sisters on a higher level, not just for 2 hours on a weekend. All right? So it says, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins." What's sin? Transgression of the law. You know what I'm saying? It's real basic. "And that ye receive not her plagues." Okay? Let me see. Okay. So that's somebody else trying to come. Okay. "That ye be not partakers of her sins." And what's the result of sins? Death. Negative things happen when you're partaking in sin. It says, "And that ye," all right. Stuff decides it wants to act up on me. Y'all stand by. There we go. Okay, "That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and," oh my goodness. All right. That's the problem with that. All right. Hopefully let me take anything out of here that might interrupt. There we go. Okay. It says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities." Okay? So, what I'm going to do moving forward with this lesson is I'm going to show you why you need to come up out of her. And why we're moving the way we are, why Pastor Dow has moved the way he's moving straight way. And I'm going to show you, you'll be able to see in very obvious contrast the difference between what I'm doing, what Straightway's doing, and what these other ministries are not doing. And you're going to see the dangers of it, okay? So, first slide is, I got a bunch of news articles here. It says, "Measles outbreak. New York eliminates religious exemptions for vaccines." Okay? So with these schools now, if your child's in school and all that, and you live in the New York City area, these vaccines, this poison is mandatory. I'm sure a lot of y'all know all the. I'm sure a lot of y'all know all the. The negative things. A lot of people say it's conspiracy theory and all that, but a lot of the negative things, the ingredients in these vaccines, okay? And they're making it mandatory. You're going to begin to see this more widespread throughout throughout the nation, okay? I don't know if other states are doing this, but you could be sure that a lot of them are going to follow suit, okay? All right. It says 4 states now require schools to teach LGBT history, okay? So they're going to teach in these schools, they're going to teach abominable things to your kids, okay? All right. Let's move to the next one. It says, forget Miss Rogers' drag queen reading hour coming to a library near you. So they're going to have Transformers reading stuff to your kids. Okay? And that one there looks satanic. Okay? So this stuff is and y'all know, if you read the book, this is an abomination. Okay? All right, let's move forward. This is, I'm sure y'all heard this saying before. Malcolm X said, only a fool would let his enemy teach his children, okay? And part of the deception, and I've actually heard people kind of throwing flack at the fact that I'm working so hard on getting my kids out of the public fool system. But just what you saw, the couple slides I just put up, you can see the wickedness and the evil that's being taught in these schools, and what they're trying. They're doing sorcery, and sorcery can be categorized as these medicines that they use that are not all medicine is sorcery, but certain types are sorcery. A lot of the so-called mental health drugs, a lot of that's sorcery when you look up the biblical definition of it. Believe it or not, stuff like opium isn't sorcery. It can be used as sorcery, but that's more natural. But I'm not going to get off the topic, okay? So, all right, let's go to the next one. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And the definition of prudent is acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Okay? A lot of people think we want to live set apart and we're trying to move on land and we're trying to get our kids out of these schools and do all this other stuff. It's not even really prophetic. It's just wisdom. Even Malcolm X had enough wisdom to say, hey, if you're letting your enemies educate your kids, you see what I'm saying? This is basic. This is surface level stuff. Okay? What I have here, you might not be able to read it, but that is an actual permission slip from the school that Madison and Samantha go to. And what it is saying is that they are going to be doing mass shooter drills and showing mass shooter videos. And that's a permission to authorize that. It's gotten to that level. They don't do fire drills anymore. They do mass shooter drills. Okay? Let me see something. Make sure so that's the level it's gotten to. And it just behooves me because I see people out there, and these are Hebrews in the Hebrew community acting like it's a wicked thing. You don't get the book. You don't understand the Bible because you're wanting to live set apart. Because you don't want your kids going to these schools. You know what I'm saying? They're putting out confusing doctrines, acting like it's something else. It's something coming out of her is just spiritual and never any literal action. But I'm going to prove to you that it is a literal action. It says there have been 22 school shootings in the U.S. so far this year. Okay? 22 school shootings. Okay? Let's move forward. They say you can't do they say you can't be a light on a community. Okay? And that's what a lot of I've heard. Okay, somebody else.
Put a sign that say just come in.
Come on in. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, they say I've heard people say if you live set apart, if you get land, if you move on a community with like-minded believers and you function in that way, you can't be a light to other people out there. How are you going to be a light? How are you going to be salt if you're over there on a community? And I say, if you got a bullet in your head, you're not going to be a light. You see what I'm saying? Shalom, man. Yeah. So I say you can't be a light if you're going to function. Shalom, sis. So, that's how are you going to be a light if your kids are in the public school system getting miseducated? You understand what I'm saying? How are you going to be a light if they're in there in this dangerous environment? How are you going to shine? All right. So moving forward, it says, now the first slide said there have been 22 school shootings. This is talking about deadly shootings where people have died. It says there have been at least 19 deadly mass shootings in the U.S. so far in 2019. It's September. 19 shootings. It didn't go into how many people died. Okay. You can't even go to Walmart. This is another reason to live set apart to where, hey, instead of letting Walmart provide your food and you got to risk getting shot in the head to go get something from Walmart, why not have your community provide the food? Why not have the land that the Most High has provided for us provide the food instead of going to our oppressors and want and need of everything? It says, as a gunman roamed through Walmart, shoppers prayed and begged him not to kill them, a survivor says. Okay? That's the wrong damn time to be praying. All right? Look. And I copied this out of the article. This is what they were praying. He said people were praying in Spanish, por favor, no, por favor, Grant said. They were on the ground and he still just shot them in the head. They were praying, please, please don't shoot me. He had no remorse for their lives at all. Okay? This goes back into what I said. A prudent man foresees what's coming. Prudent means you look forward and with wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to the range to fight the damn government. That's not why I'm training my daughters, my kids, and the people around me on these weapons. It's just protection. It's just being prudent. Plain and simple. But there's ministries out there acting like you think, they act like I think an AR-10 or AR-15 is going to shoot down a drone that's 10,000, 30,000 feet up in the air with a smart bomb or something. But that's because they got an agenda. I'll get into that later. Now, I just told you what the solution is. Number one, you got to kind of try to stay away from these places. But on the same note, you also have to have protection. Because I'm sure all them people, if they were against guns, I don't know if any of y'all heard what happened after that shooting. The gun sales went through the roof over in Texas. Okay? it says Walmart mass shooting. Now this is their solution to it. This is Babylon's solution. It says Walmart mass shooting, stores removing violent video game displays. That's gonna fix it. Okay? That's why I say you better be prudent and be thinking wise out here. It says Walmart to stop selling handgun ammunition following mass shootings. What's that gonna do? I mean, man, at least you could, when somebody flip out, you could run to the gun department, grab something, load it up, and protect your daggone self. Okay? All right. We want to get back into, again, protecting yourself so that you're not relying on your enemy to protect you. It says Florida white supremacist arrested for threatening shooting at Walmart, police said. Okay, so now I'm just showing you that the threat's still out there. You know what I'm saying? It's still dangerous. But look at this. Because people rely on the cops. This is another reason why you need to arm yourself so you can protect yourself. It says FBI, and I've ran this article multiple times before. It says FBI warned of white supremacists in law enforcement 10 years ago. Has anything changed? And it's, if you look at, now I don't know the date of this article I put up here, but if you, hold on one sec. Yeah, if you, because I did it before, if you look up that time frame, because I think even this article is a little old, but if you look up the time frame of when the FBI put that warning out about the white supremacists coming into law enforcement and just law period, like your, what's it called? What's the attorney called? The court-appointed attorney or whatever? Public pretender. So yeah, when you look up, like they're going into all this. So you got a public defender who hates you. He's your enemy. He's trying to get you the most time he can. Like they've infiltrated the legal system. So the people you rely on, you're in want of all things from these people. For your protection, for all this, they're your enemy. And I'm sitting here telling you, protect yourself. Get trained up with weapons. You know what I'm saying? So that you can protect yourself. So that when somebody's lurking around your house and you see a shadow go by, you're like, 911. You waiting 10, 15 minutes for them to show up when you could have just had, you could have went outside or just shot through the window and called them to clean up the body. Like send the morgue out. All right? Protect yourself. The means of production, they've taken everything from us, so we rely on them like little babies. And the people who perpetuate this and keep this moving, keep us in this mindset, one of the agents for them to keep this type of passive, helpless behavior going is Christianity, Greco-Roman Catholicism, and Christian Hebrews. Okay? We're not trying to go to war with the government. You're not going to win, but you need to be able to protect yourself. That's all my point is. All right, so look. Again, with the protection, learning, and why this is something Pastor Dow was teaching on up in Detroit. It says, Hurricane Doreen, Bahamas residents looting and shooting each other for food. Survivors of a 225 mile per hour mega storm set. Okay? Just like Pastor Dow was saying that up there in Detroit. He was telling people, hey, and people, he was giving all the reasons why you need to operate a certain way. In your neighborhood, you live around a bunch of wicked heathen people. As soon, like he was saying, as soon as that belly hit that spine, it's on and popping. It says dead bodies looting Doreen's aftermath in the Bahamas. Okay? It's I try to tell people, man, and this is why I'm moving the way I am, because I get it. We are literally 3 days away from pure chaos breaking loose. Brother, Elder, hey, shalom, man. Elder Mitchell witnessed this in Houston. He witnessed this firsthand. Yeah, you can sit there. You can sit wherever. Yeah, he witnessed this firsthand in Houston. He saw it. He said a couple weeks after he bought his little 38 revolver, that hurricane hit, and some people knocked on his door, and his grandmother or somebody in a wheelchair answered the door, and it was these two aggressive men saying, "Hey, y'all got food," and all that. And he said he came to the door with that gun, that evil, sinful gun, and he ran them off and protected his family. And he said by the time the next hurricane came, they was dripping with guns and ammunition, and wasn't nothing going down up in there. They had their thing in order. They were prepared. This is all we talking about. Again, being prudent. And I'm telling you, I'm getting pissed because I'm hearing these silly lessons where they're just spiritualizing everything. Yes, we are not throwing away the spiritual. You have to have your mind right in order to come together with your brothers and sisters. You can't come together on this level, living on land together, doing stuff together economically and stuff like that, without having your spirit right. We know that. But it's funny because the congregation's teaching this stuff, there's a lot of division in it. There's a lot of people with manipulative spirits on them. They can't come together. This is why they push not coming together, because they're in covenant with demons in themselves, and they don't want to come together. They can't. I'm an eyewitness on it, but I ain't gonna touch that. I ain't going in there. All right, so here it is again. Same thing. It says reports of looting and violence in the Bahamas following Hurricane Doreen. What I'm trying to point out is we're here in Jacksonville, Florida. You know, we've had power outages. Most of the time, hurricanes don't hit us, but it could be any type of disaster. It could just be a power outage. I was talking to somebody at my job. They were talking about how there was a power outage due to a plane accidentally, and this is a military plane, hitting its EMP. The military planes have electromagnetic pulse generators. They put out a big energy burst, and they, like when we go over there and we bomb these other countries, we'll send missiles out that will have an electromagnetic pulse, knock out all the electronics, so then they could go in and start knock the radars down and do all this stuff. You know, that's part of warfare. It's nothing for somebody from an enemy country or a terrorist to come over here and that have a device that can produce a EMP, electromagnetic pulse, or a bomb. You know, nuclear bombs generate an electromagnetic pulse. When there's a nuclear attack, the tactics for a nuclear attack is the first couple nuclear weapons detonate way up in the air, and they don't even affect the ground. They just detonate at an altitude to generate the strongest electromagnetic pulse they can. Okay, and they knock all the radar, everything out. Then the other ones can hit the ground without being, you know, anything intercepting them or whatever. All right. So anyway, I got off topic. It says, so again, and then I put it in there again multiple times. Let me see. So again, prudent, being prudent. That's my daughter Madison, and she getting nice with that AR. Okay, not because she gonna be, you know, a female Rambo, but I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. So if I'm not able to be in that house as the man, or I'm out of the house and somebody come up and banging on the door, she gonna draw down on them just like that through the door. All right, real talk. Okay? So that's being prudent. That's thinking ahead. This isn't, dude, these Christian Hebrews are calling this a sin. Training your family up to defend themselves in crazy times. Y'all see all the stuff I put up here? In crazy times. I'm hearing some silly, crazy, pacified, feminized lessons out there, man. And it's sad what they're doing. Gather, this is Zephaniah 2. It says, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Are we a nation of people that really isn't desired by all these other nations out here? Like, they really don't care. I don't know if y'all, I was up in North Carolina with Ron Dalton last week. And I don't know if y'all caught the whole thing, but man, he had a good presentation showing how a Chinese business owner, his son, I guess they got him on tape or something. He was saying how they really felt about us. And the business was in the hood. And they were like, he was just saying, you're stupid because y'all give us all your money and just saying all this stuff, man. These nations exploit you and they don't care about you. And neither do these silly churches, neither do these pastors and all these other clowns out here. And even some of these Hebrew ministries is like, there's stuff on the horizon that's obvious. Be prudent. I'm not even going into no crazy biblical scripture. I'm just saying basic common sense stuff, man. But because we're in Christianity, because Christianity has infiltrated the Hebrew Israelite movement so strong, people like Straightway Ministries and Pastor Al, people actually point the finger at him. Oh, well, he ain't, we're so big about him. They don't see it. They don't see it. Because all they're looking at is the surface. They're not looking below the surface. Nobody else is doing it. Everybody else is shaking people down to get buildings and build their thing and shake them down for money. Ain't doing nothing for the damn people. It's sick, man. Man, I'm about to get pissed. I ain't gonna get mad, right? It says, before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord. We're seeking the Lord. All ye meek of the earth, we're seeking the Lord. If you want to seek the Lord, you read his book, his instruction, and you do it. You don't, ask your pastor, your moray, what the works are. You get your mind right, then what? You just sit there and just zone out, or what do? What's the works? Is there something that's going to manifest outwardly, or are you just wishfully thinking and waiting? All right, it says, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Okay? And again, I'm not going to go deep into prophecy, but what do you want to be in a subdivision when all this crap hits? Everybody predicting like a economic crash coming up and all that. Do you, when the power goes out or something happens? Because I'm going to just tell you, the main thing we're preparing for is a grid down situation. Okay? Most people, if the electricity went out for 3 days, they'd be in a life or death situation. All right. So, all right. Let's see. Decision 2020, the election. This is more stuff that's coming up where it's getting, you're going to see more division between these other nations. Because you can see these other nations beginning to get destabilized, beginning to come apart. You see what I'm saying? You can see the writing on the wall. Each election is more and more polarized. And I remember last election, somebody, a Democrat, shot a Republican over an argument in Atlanta. This thing is getting more and more polarized, and it ain't got nothing to do with us. That's why, and truth be told, I was watching a good lesson, and it was showing how there's no difference between Republican, Democrat. It's a religion, literally. Religion is politics, and politics is religion. It's about leadership and government. Isn't that what Christ is coming to establish? Leadership and government? And laws, statutes, commandments? Righteous ones, though. You know, you can't marry your dog in the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? All right. Again, I was saying you're beginning to see this this empire get destabilized. America's opioid epidemic. Slacker family could pay billions in personal wealth to settle opioid losses. So again, you're beginning to see things get destabilized. You need to be prudent. You see the writing on the wall. Yeah, y'all could just go around there and take it in there. Okay, you can see the writing on the wall. You see it. You see it. And people, so what these other ministries are saying is, see the storm coming and know that Yah is coming near. Yeah, but you better take cover. You see what I'm saying? Don't just stand there and think, you know. In Egypt, was there not something that they were told to do? You know what I'm saying? When they were in Egypt, you know, was there not instructions? Was there action? Didn't they have to put a mark on there? There was instruction. There was something that needed to be done. All right, but I'm not even talking about end time prophecy. I'm talking about obvious stuff that you could see right now. I'm not even trying to be prophetic. I'm talking about what you see happening now, and I'm talking about how a lot of these congregations are so far behind because they're taking zero action, and they're not even trying to prepare their people for what's happening right now. All right. Sugar is poison. I'm sure most of y'all know this. You know, if you don't, I was talking about it earlier. How, you know, my teeth were bothering me, and I started doing some research, and I found out you could remineralize your teeth and cure cavities. People, I was talking about earlier today that there was a guy. He needed an emergency. His dentist told him he needed an emergency root canal because a hole in his tooth was so deep. And he started remineralizing his teeth, and cured the tooth, and the tooth grew back. Like the hole got filled in, all that. You can remineralize your teeth, but sugar demineralizes your teeth. And when I say sugar, I'm talking about not just this stuff that you see up there on the screen, but I'm talking about bread, white bread, well, bread period. Most breads turn into sugar. A lot of these carbs that are out here turn into sugar, and they demineralize your teeth. They do a bunch of other stuff, but one of the things they do is demineralize your teeth, make them cold sensitive and all that stuff like that, and they make your mouth acidic, okay? And so you eat something, drink a soda, whatever you do, juices, all your juices, apple juice, orange juice, you name it, it's full of sugar. They actually add sugar to the apple juice. But anyway, it makes your mouth acidic. And even after you eat it, between meals, the whole time you're walking around, your mouth is acidic and it's slowly degrading. And you have to make your mouth alkaline, okay? All right, so I'm showing you that. You'll see. Top 10 genetically modified foods. So it's showing you corn, soy, cottonseed. I guess that's oil, cottonseed. Papaya, rice, rapeseed, potatoes, tomatoes, dairy products, peas. Okay? We know about GMOs, genetically modified. These foods are stripped of nutrients. This is why a lot of people got to take supplements. All right, let me see. what foods are banned in Europe but not banned in the U.S.? The European Union prohibits many food additives and various drugs that are widely used in American foods. Quick story. When I was in the military, my unit deployed to Europe for like 120 days. And the people who went out there, they were saying how when they went out there, man, they said they were eating more food and so-called more unhealthier food than they had ate in the U.S. They eating potatoes and all types of stuff. And it was funny because the people were telling me, but it was funny. They said I lost weight. One dude said my skin thing he had on his face cleared up. Another dude said he had Crohn's disease. It didn't act up. It was crazy. And they said they were actually eating more food, eating more unhealthy. Okay? They poison you over here. That's basically what I'm saying. Majority of doctors who oversee FDA drug approval receive payments from companies they monitor, report shows. Okay? This thing's corrupt. So what I'm showing you is with the food system. This moves back to, okay, you know the food they're feeding you is poison. Why not live on some damn land and grow your own food? Is that not being prudent when you know they're poisoning you? And then you go to the medical system, and like I said in earlier, they were saying how a couple years ago, I'm not sure how many years ago, the doctors in LA went on strike and the death toll dropped. Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah, look it up. All the doctors in LA went on strike and the death toll dropped. Okay? So why not get on land and grow your own food? You got people out there saying, well, if you get on land and grow your own food, the government gonna send lasers from satellites to zap you because you on the land. Show me that in the daggone book. And if they do, so be it. I'd rather die trying. Shalom, Ms. Juanita. Shalom, shalom, shalom. All right. So, hey, yeah, Roosevelt, shalom, y'all. I thought y'all was up in VA already. All right. So, all right. Let's move on. Wage slavery. Okay. This is. I talked to the guy. I talked to Brother Judah a lot. Me and him talk. He is from the. It's called the Knesset of Israel or whatever. Oh no, Knesset Yeshua on YouTube. Okay, and we don't agree on everything. Me and him had like a 2-hour talk on multiple wives and all that stuff like that. Didn't reach no agreement, but this is a cool brother, a wise brother, a humble brother, okay? And I don't believe, like, where his expertise lies is on breaking down the the political and economic aspect of the book and showing how, man, it took this brother, I'm not lying, it took like 3 months for him to get me to understand the wickedness of this capitalistic system as compared to the biblical system, and why it's kind of at the core of the mystery of iniquity because of the way it makes you chase money, basically. So that's why I put that there. The difference is with what we're doing, what Pastor Dow's doing, that model he has, because he helped me see Pastor Dow's model on a deeper level, is they teach you individualism and self-gratification here. They teach you, what do they say, the right to earn what's the American statement? Any of y'all know there's like the right to liberty, life? Yes, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And there's something else where they encourage you to work hard and be greedy and make money. and capitalism is basically survival of the fittest. Well, what Brother Judah was bringing out was how, which when you look in the and I mean, he just analyzes this stuff, and you can see he shows you how we operated when we were a nation, and we didn't operate like that. Is you shared what you had. You know, if somebody didn't have enough and you had extra, you shared some of your extra with them. You understand what I'm saying? And you see that same model in the book of Acts. And this is the model for community living. You don't have to make no big mega community with every single person. You can have a community of 4, 2 or 3 families, 4 or 5 families, whatever, different communities in the same area, whatever. But it's about group economics. And this is the main place our enemies have taken Crafty counsel from cutting us off from. You know what I'm saying? All right. The Kerner Commission. I don't know if y'all have read this report, but it's a like an analyst report they did. It says 50 years after the Kerner Commission, African Americans are better off in many ways, but are still disadvantaged by racial inequality. The better ways, and I'm not going to go all the way into this, but a lot of it is like COINTELPRO type stuff. But the better ways are that they claim are education and certain things that, if you look at it from a Crafty counsel, from cutting you off from being a people aspect, you can see that the way they got us better off is they've kind of manipulated us into working for them, basically. But 50 years ago, so this is in the 60s, because even this report is about 10 years old. So in the 60s, the marriages, more black families were intact, were together. The marriages were better, okay? Incarceration, less of us were in jail, less of us were on drugs. Business, there were more community business, we were more community based. There was less crime. There was less death from diseases and all this stuff. So when you really look at this, there was less abortion. 900 women a day abort their babies. So there was less abortion. So when you look at this report and then you look at the current condition of our people, and this is something else a lot of our people don't realize. Right now, today, we are in the worst condition we ever been in our whole existence. Even during the Atlantic slave trade, we were not destroyed, because it's not just mental now, it's spiritual. Even in the Hebrew Israelite so-called awakening, they still teaching pacification. They still teaching Greco-Roman Catholicism oppression. They still telling you don't do nothing. And you got scholars, you got people studying this book, and they still have you out there completely passive, okay? So I put Psalms 83, verse 3 through 5. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Dude, did y'all see those tapes they released from Nixon where he's talking to Reagan? Reagan, I mean, everybody knew Reagan was racist anyway, but Reagan calling us monkeys and all that. Yeah, they released a whole bunch of stuff, and I think the reason, and there's one tape of Nixon where his analyst or whatever is showing him, this is in the 70s or something like that, his analyst, and it's recorded, and his analyst is showing him our reproduction rate. You know, all of our grandmothers and fathers had large families. And Nixon's like, what? They're reproducing like that? Oh my God, we got to do something. He says it's on the recording. And then you hear him talk about the abortion thing and pushing that to get it under control and all that. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. Bro, when you really study capitalism and a lot of this stuff where it's sold, like I was saying earlier, you got a lot of people pursuing education. And I tell people you need to pursue stuff that can help your congregation, okay? Not something that's going to make you a bunch of money in Babylon, okay? So it says, they have said, come, let us, and let me say this too, before I don't want to create any confusion. There are some people that is their Yah ordained gift to bring in money from Babylon. But majority of people, like me, I'm a mechanic, and that can benefit our nation. You know, a lot of these kids need to be encouraged to be herbalists and electricians and learn how to do foundations and build stuff and wire up solar and electric and water power generators. That stuff there is gonna be farmers, agriculture. That stuff is gonna yield way bigger results. Because if you don't have to spend your money to buy their food, if you know how to grow it yourself, you're gonna be well off. When I was up in North Carolina, I met a brother up there, the first of his kind that I've ever met. This brother was a second generation farmer. And he was telling me stuff about farming that rewired everything I ever heard. And he learned all this stuff from his father. You know, and I'm sure it went back even further than that. And he'll be coming on the show, and I'm going to bring him down here because some of the stuff he was saying, he was like, he was saying a bunch of stuff that you think you need to do, you really don't. You know, a lot of heavy stuff where it took a lot of labor out of farming, okay? So it says they have come, and what have they done? They get you so interested in hip-hop and sports and all this other pointless stuff, you don't even care what your grandfather or your father knows. This dude, like, and you'll see with this dude could show us how to grow food, and we're going to save a whole bunch of money because you ain't going to be in Walmart. Who cares who won the football game and how to throw the football right or whatever silliness they got out there when this dude could show you how to come out of her. All right, so it says, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. This is part of the Crafty counsel, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. Again, let me show you this real quick. After Martin Luther King's death, they passed legislation to let minorities, to encourage minority business. Okay? But then the minorities that they gave the businesses to in the poor neighborhoods are who? Arabs, Chinese. See, they're confederate against you. So they give them the minority benefits to start their businesses in your neighborhood and continue sucking the money up out of there. Okay? They are confederate against thee. All right? And this is what I get mad at. And that's why I'm going to just pause, stay calm. But I get mad at the leaders. I do. And that's why I talk slow, so y'all don't see me get real mad on this thing. Isaiah 9:16, for the leaders of this people cause them to err. Oh, you know, it's y'all salvation. It's all spiritual. That's what they sitting there telling you. It's all spiritual. These people buying land and doing this, they're going to be out. They're going to be in outer darkness. Okay? You can't be that stupid. If they gave these leaders a bigger head, they'd be bigger dummies. They cause you to err. And they that are led of them are destroyed. These ministry, these people are going to get illnesses because they continuing to eat known poison. This thing ain't all spiritually gobbledygook like they trying to make everything. They're causing you to err. All right. So this is, and we're almost done here. It says 2 Timothy chapter 3. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. Now, is this applicable to today? For men shall be lovers of their own selves. They want you to just give me money. Donate to spiritual combat. Okay? So I can get that spiritual combat. I'm going to get a Cadillac and it's going to be blessed. Because I'm going to get spiritual combat on the side. So y'all need to donate. But no, that's how these people are. They want you to build that thing. It says, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unset apart. That's what holy is. Set apart. It says, without natural affection, truce breakers. They can't keep their damn word. You can't trust them for nothing. False accusers, incontinents, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. Lovers of Babylon, lovers of this current society, this current setup, this current way of functioning in capitalism, more than lovers of being set apart and coming up out of it, because I've showed you where it's killing you. Having a form of godliness, so they could talk a good game, thee, thou, and thou, up in there. But denying the power thereof, from such turn away. It's book. It's telling you. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins. All you got to do is go on the spiritual combat, on the Michael Israel Facebook page and look in the comments on some of them posts I've been making, and you will see plenty of silly women laden with all types of, and see who they pastor is, because I know it ain't me. Let's see. For of this, but look, these ministries, they are led by women. I don't need to say no more. I ain't going in on that. And lead captive silly women laden with sins. With sin, transgression of the law. Led away with diverse lusts. Ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth. Okay? And they're wizards. You hear me say that all the time. It says, now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so did these also resist the truth through manipulation. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith. All right? We're going to continue reading. All right. Reprobate concerning the faith. What verse was that on? Okay. But they shall proceed no further, for their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was. And the stuff I'm telling you, I'm just telling you simple, prudent things. Prudent, just looking ahead. I see what's going on. You see the shootings, you see the poison, you see the shots they trying to get your kids. You see all this. You see the gaffers teaching all this crap in school and all the stuff they pushing. And then when all these people that are talking against community, when their kids grow up to be gaffers, when their people get sick, when a hurricane hits or some natural disaster hits their community, like the people in the Bahamas learn. The people in Bahamas who follow some of these ministries are like, you know what? Candyland Ministries was full of crap. I was out here getting shot and starving. It's made folly. I'm not saying nothing complicated. I'm giving y'all answers. But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch and Iconium, Lycaria, what persecutions I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. Look, all the Lord delivered me. Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. So you're going to go through things. But it says, all who live godly. Okay? What's living godly? Living according to what the book says. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Okay? But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. All right. And let's go back, just because I don't want to leave no wiggle room. It says you will endure persecution. Look at the brothers. Kabir is a good example who lost. He was coming into this truth. He wanted to live set apart. He lost his whole family. You see what I'm saying? There's another brother I was talking to yesterday who going through a similar situation. That's persecution. It's tough. Most time you lose your blood family coming into this thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. But continue thou. Hold on. I think I put that. So yeah. You see what I'm saying? Let me go back to the. So yeah. This is pretty straightforward. That's the end of my slides. I'm just running my mouth now. So if y'all want to add in, y'all got anything y'all want to add into it, please do. And if y'all got any questions, comments, whatever, online or whatever, definitely chime in. But let me read over everything. So somebody said, and I'm going to clarify what they said. They said, Yah is our provision, providence, and position, grounding us in Holy Scripture night and day. And what is that? Because faith without works is dead. So the Scripture is instruction. Instruction denotes, hey, there's something that needs to be done. Okay? And again, I'll reiterate again, like Proverbs is a good place. You read a book of Proverbs and you see how you got to be thinking. It said upon these two, upon these two commandments, everything hinges, love the Most High with all your heart, mind, soul, and love your brother like you love yourself. How do you do that? Is that just for 4 hours on a weekend, or does that denote that you actually function like a brother, like a family would?
But that's part of the problem, because we don't know how to love ourselves.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's evident in the shootings, and
Yep.
and we want to focus so much on the police shootings of ourselves, but we're not focusing on what we're doing to each other.
Right. And on the deception that's causing it also. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Yeah. Let's see. So somebody posted Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Okay? Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. I mean, there's stuff right there in front of us that's obvious, and because of these deceptive doctrines of demons, they're telling you, oh, no, you don't. Why would you grow your own food? Just trust in the Most High. It's like, okay. So let me see. I'm going to come on over there to Facebook real quick. See. A dedicated half-acre of land that you grow just lettuce can generate 100,000 a year. There you go. See, that's something they make sure we stay far away from, because we're good farmers. The reason the Most High made such a big deal about land is because it can produce everything you need. You don't need these other nations or anything else. You get you some land, it can give you everything you need. Okay, that's the big But they know if they take the land and seduce you into thinking, oh, why I want all that land when I can live in this city, in concrete Vietnam, you know what I'm saying? And everything's convenient, and they control you. They got you. All right, so yeah, let's see. That's great. It's not as if people who live in community won't go outside either physically or yeah. So, but anyway, y'all, that wraps up the lesson. I see everybody showed up, and so what we're gonna do now, y'all could eat. The food's here. We take a. I appreciate those of y'all who've tuned in to the Jacksonville, Florida Shabbat, the second one. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this live stream up, so I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that,